Judge, were you just talking about the girl that just walked in?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to have this at 9 and move here, and then something gets in the work.
I show up at 8:30 or 9 so many times,
Mhm.
and I see attorneys rolling in at 10:30. And I look at them like, you're rolling in at 10:30, yet I haven't got anything accomplished yet,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
Are they smarter than me or?
Yeah.
Not?
So, when do you guys think she'll be here?
It's hard to say.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we will wait for you.
You know, it is, as long as it can get done before Christmas luncheon.
Oh, yeah, no, you got to do the
As long as I
Christmas
come back
luncheon.
after lunch. but
Oh, no,
I'll
we're
do-
not, we will make sure it gets done.
Okay.
Something,
And if not here, I'm here the rest of the week if something goes wrong.
yeah,
Thank you. I'll
you're
be-
welcome. Is transport okay with everyone else?
Yes.
You're like, I believe so. What does that mean?
I'm gonna head upstairs, when Mr. Cabanas gets here, I'll come back down.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Okay, Vashon, down the hallway, they have, they should win the door decoration, because I think that division is having door decorations. Yes. Okay, let me ask you this. Have you walked into Whoville?
No, I haven't.
I took photos and I told them, if you all don't win, I'm going to send up a protest letter. So let me show you their photos. They even have a fireplace.
Alfonso said he'll be right in a few minutes. He's in the 226.
All right. All right, everyone. I will be back in 10 minutes. All right. Yeah, we have no feedback. Thank you. How did you?
What's going on?
Oh, you know what? I always, since I'm an adult now, if I'm currently alive, Santa Claus has stopped by my house. The fact that I'm alive, I'm just happy to be alive.
That's good enough, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, thank you guys.
Merry Christmas to y'all. And we will-
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays. Stay safe. So Vashon, now we know how to do it. They've taught us how to fish. But yeah, Vashon, we missed you guys. Mahia, we missed you. Vashon, it took 3 people to do your job. And when I say 3 people, I do mean three people. These are the Aw. Somebody else pick it up. Vashon? We received a card from Martha Figueroa. We're gonna have to go to Hundo. You know, we need to take a court trip where we travel to all the different counties, and that'll help me know the distance. And you know what we can do? We can you know, have one of those RVs or vans where it has the sleeper inside. See, that's when you really get to know each other, when you live with each other. So we should do that as a group. Norma, this is for you. Yeah, I think this is for our wall. Oh, look at flames. And Mahia, I had good intentions, but you know what? My Christmas cards are going out late this year.
Better late than never, just,
That's what I say.
and if not, it's about the counts.
I think you're correct.
If need be, just, we could just put it on Facebook. Go into Facebook and be like, to everybody.
Well, here's the problem. My mom does not do Facebook.
Ah.
So,
Gotcha.
and my younger ones do not do Facebook, so.
Well, they can get a personalized letter at a later date.
Mhm. So we shall see. Those are things I have to look at.
Credit to credit card, money credit.
Yeah, that's for that guy.
It's so funny.
It's my.
Oh, and Mahia, did you hear that the guy who played Buck Rogers plays? Gil Gerard? Did you ever watch Buck Rogers in the 21st century?
No.
Oh, you probably were too young. I mean, Buck Rogers was great. You know, they had Hawkman on there. I can't believe you've never seen Buck Rogers. I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Yes, they did. We're good to go. Nobody told you. Who do I need to call? Call them. No, I'm going to call them because they should have told you.
Yeah, they from.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. But thank you.
Aw.
No, you're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, you too. All righty. Here.
All right.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
3 people. Yeah.
I'm going to Gilbert.
Yeah.
Why people think they have to answer the phone. And, we have a 4-year-old blonde lab
Mhm.
named Jen.
Mhm.
And, all the labs we ever had, they always love the postman.
Yeah.
This one, she jumps on the door, which the box is right by the door,
Mhm.
and she goes crazy for this postman.
Oh,
I can't figure it out.
all right, then that's a mystery for you to solve, and maybe you need to follow the postman home and on his routes. And then that will be a movie, and it will be because she needed to know the Arlene Gay story.
No, I need to know why our dog just hates the postman.
And you know what would end up happening? My mom and I would watch your Lifetime movie, and we would say, surely this is not a true story. You know, like, why would she fall? Why doesn't she just call the police? Why does she do it? And then you know what we will say? Oh my gosh, this is a true story, because the screen will go blank and we'll have a law named after you.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that would be a great title. Dying to Know, the Arlene Gay story.
I don't know. Hey,
She said,
Third time's bestseller.
yeah,
Yes.
she said one of her dogs, there's something about him and the postman.
Mhm.
And I said, well, maybe you should follow the postman.
Mhm.
Oh, I would be in the Lifetime movie, because I would be saying, follow the
I want
postman.
Sandra Bullock to play me. I already decided that any movie that I would be in would be Sandra Bullock.
Awesome. Well, we'll see if she'll come to Lifetime.
Yeah.
No.
That's just your approach on
Mhm.
Christmas.
All right, who are you approaching on? Oh.
Christopher Sanchez.
Yes. Oh, come forward, Mr. Sanchez. Hello, yes.
Your Honor, we did receive an offer from Morn. She emailed that to me. And one of the part of the offer included a new case that just got indicted.
Mhm.
And I need to review the videos with the client.
Okay,
And, so, but we are making very good progress.
all right. Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
set this for January 8th for disposition. All right, we'll have you back on January 8th.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Yes, ma'am.
Here.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
See, doesn't it make you happy when people say Merry Christmas?
It
does.
I when I go to the store, I go out of my way to say Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Just, and most people smile, and even people of different faiths
Mhm.
say Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
It
This time of year.
mhm,
Yeah, if you go down the hallway, you can see their Who decorations. It's beautiful.
mhm.
All right.
Good morning,
Alfonso Cabanas, who was so great yesterday, just like, yeah, Judge, I'll do it. All right,
Thank you,
so,
Judge.
yes.
We're here on Francil Bragg,
Yes.
Your Honor. It's an MTR. I
Yes.
talked to the state. It looks like they amended their filing. And so I'm asking for a reset on his case to go over the new allegations and then come
Okay.
back and resolve it. Judge.
Is he here or not here?
He's in custody, Judge.
Do you want to have him brought out? And the reason why I say that, you'll reset.
Yes, Your Honor.
What day do you want? And Deputy, are you all bringing Francel Braggs out?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Oh, let me just tell you. Mm-mm. I'm not gonna say who it's gonna be. So I'm just saying, if y'all are expecting something,
Okay.
and I try, people who have. Yeah.
Judge, can we do January the 13th?
Ms. Ferguson, can we recall this for January 13th?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll do it for January 13th. Thank you. Hi, how's it going?
Good, Judge.
Great. What,
Invitation from Satellite. We came last year, invited to installation, so it'd be great if we could.
I will do, oh, that's okay. I will do my best to come. I was disappointed. Oh, this is San Antonio trim. Oh, yes, I will put this on my calendar.
You were disappointed in us, right?
No. I confuse you with another organization. Oh, and when I say disappointed that everyone received their Fiesta medal and I didn't get one. But it wasn't you. No, it wasn't you. Oh, thank you so much. I love the delivery and I love the card.
See you there.
All right.
31st.
And so tickets, I just go online.
You should just be able to register for free. Yeah.
Look at that.
Judge and the staff and everybody here.
Yes, everybody here today registered for free.
Staff and judge.
All right, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Thank
have a
you.
good one.
You too.
So has anybody heard of the Ralston? Ralston? Oh, is it new?
It's some new addition they added to the zoo.
Oh, yes, it's like a gorilla.
I'm not sure what it's for. I just.
Yeah, it's a gorilla. Because it curses
Yeah.
out.
Well, I think, yeah, what it is like you can have your wedding there now, but it's attached to like the Congo Falls.
Oh, okay. Who was it? I think said Chris Rock said that Tiger just went Tiger. So that's why I don't go.
Yeah. Well, this weekend they opened the new exhibit and it was sad to see the videos that I'm not gonna lie, I want to go see the gorillas, okay, but there was like 30,000 visitors over the weekend, and so people were taking videos of the gorillas and they were like overstimulated, and like one of them's like banging on the
Yeah.
glass because there's just too many people.
And then it's like the animals are in cages and people want them to perform.
Yeah.
I'm not here for your entertainment. So that's my issue. But there's a new series that I have to watch. I think it's called Sea and Water or something. And it's about the people, some people live in the water. They're coming, setting their demands.
What?
Oh yeah, and they're like, hey, we're gonna cut your water supply off if you all don't stop. And then they're like, these are our demands. And I'm like, hey. But I've been watching reruns a lot of The Twilight Zone. I love The Twilight Zone. I love Alfred Hitchcock. There's an episode of Alfred Hitchcock, and it was set, it's set in the 60s. So much like Star Trek, they try to give people lessons. Like one episode of Star Trek that I love is like, Let This Be Your Last Battleground. And it's two people who get on the enterprise. And they're fighting each other. They're trying to break them up like, hey, what's going on? He's like, he's an animal. And they're like, what do you mean? Y'all look the same to me. And so the guy said, he is, because they were black and white. One was black on the right side, one was black on the left side. And he's like, he's black on the left side, I'm black on the right side. And Mr. Spock said, hey, my culture almost destroyed everybody. And that show ended with them killing each other. So their race went extinct. But yeah, and I love my Twilight Zone.
I watched an episode of Twilight Zone when I was a child and it traumatized me. It was this one child who was the only one in the world that knew the world was going to end the next day. Yeah. And I could not sleep.
Shut it.
I had nightmares
No, I
but-
just did,
because I was going through this phase where I thought, if I die, it's just blackness.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, that followed me for a long time until a friend of mine's father died. And I was driving on 410, taking the loop. And it was like he came and spoke to me and he said, Cindy, don't worry. There's no pain in heaven. You'll be fine. And I was like,
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, I really felt his presence and I never was scared again. Never.
Oh, wow.
I said that at his wife's funeral. I had never told anybody about that.
Oh,
And his great grandson came up to me and thanked me for saying that because he didn't know that about his grandfather.
oh, and then I was talking to Deputy Mejia. Do you know he's never heard of Buck Rogers in the 21st century? I'm sorry, the 21st century. He's never even watched Buck Rogers. Oh my gosh. That- He wasn't watching Adventures in Babysitting. Oh my God. Hey, Vashon, Adventures in Babysitting. Somebody needed to get an Oscar for that. You know, they never want to give Oscars for comedies. Mejia, you must, when we're off for our vacation, you must watch Adventures in Babysitting. All right. Megan, have you seen Adventures in Babysitting? Melissa, have you seen Adventures in Babysitting? Gosh. Okay, and it was so hilarious. And you know what my mom's favorite part? When they sing the blues.
I thought she meant the one where she's petting the rat.
Oh, that was hilarious. I mean, that was so, and you know, they tried to sort of redo that with what is his name? The guy with the curly hair. It wasn't as good. Oh, and Bashan, I broke my diet yesterday.
What did you have? Something yummy, I'm sure.
I went to the cafeteria downstairs, but it was the only meal I had, which I know was bad. And I got their Cajun fries, extra crispy. They are. Oh, but let me just tell you what ended up happening. You know, I'm a firm believer that good people come into your life every day. You just have to recognize it, right? So I go down there and everything is electronic. They really need to stop that because not everybody knows how to do that. I'm speaking for myself and my mom. So I go there, I punch in, and I go to the counter. And mind you, when I punched in, it says, would you like a receipt? I'm like, no, you know, it's $3.95. So I go to the front counter and the lady says, oh, do you have your receipt? I'm like, no. She's like, what name is on the order? I'm like, Boyd. And she's like, oh, I need the receipt. So I have to go back and redo it. When I go back and redo it, the line now has 8 people in it. And so I'm waiting in line. I have my ticket. And the guy at the front of the line, Vashon, guess what he's doing? Paying for everybody in the line. including the guys. He's like, oh, come on up, come on up. And I'm like, oh, no. So he's like, hey, come on up. And so because we get an employee discount, the lady behind the register tells him, you know, that'll have to be separate because she's an employee. And I said, no, no, it's fine. He's like, no, go ahead and do the separate thing. And I kept telling him, no, that's fine. And then I remember what my mom told me, do not block someone's blessings. So I said, forgive me for blocking your blessing. You know, thank you very much. So I'm like, dude, you made everybody's day. He's like, Merry Christmas. Mm-hmm.
Coordinator.
Yeah.
So, mhm. Yeah, we're just. Mhm.
Oh, did y'all want time announcements?
Judge, you can let me know when I hit to.
Okay. And then what I anticipate is we'll finish with their testimony this morning. Then we will let them break for lunch. And then we'll do closing arguments probably at 1:30. Yeah, unless this goes shorter. Oh, okay. 5 minutes, okay. So 10 minutes and 5 minutes, all right?
I told him
Ready?
Okay.
Thanks, Aaron.
Okay, bye. Eric, can you get this? You just need special paper. That's. Yeah. Yeah.
This is the one.
You will be at the doctor.
John, on that case, it's showing on my end, it was dismissed with the Docket.
What is that?
Good morning.
I don't want plea paperwork in yesterday for sobs. She's here, right?
No, not till tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
You said there's only for tomorrow.
Norma.
Yes, ma'am.
I want credit for being a day early.
Yeah, you're a day early. We appreciate it.
Star.
Credit for attorney served.
Okay, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow then.
Okay, all right, thank you. Oh, no. Disregard.
Okay.
Don't want my dreams. House it's a walk into the mountains and and what's it good now for me? That's how. But I have to. The bench. Books and stuff. I have an influence system. Yeah, I mean, crutches. And maybe it's your turn, I just don't know. That's me.
court judgment. I have with some. No better than the brain. I mean, that and umbrella.
Those are working awfully.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Sorry. Thank you for reading. Okay, yeah, thank Yes, ma'am, I'll definitely help.
All right, thank you. All right, are the parties ready on Ashley Sullivan?
We are, Your Honor. Yeah, come up.
Yes. And probation, this is an application. Good morning. All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 01485 State versus Ashley Sullivan. Can I have parties announce?
Megan Galloway for the state.
And Eric DeWalt, and I represent Ms. Sullivan.
And are you Miss Sullivan? Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor, evidence by my signature.
All right, court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Sullivan, did you review the application for community supervision with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? All right, so the true bill of indictment just tells what you're charged with. Did you review that? Did you understand it?
Yes.
All right, counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Sullivan, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments? It just tells you your rights. Did you review that document with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places? All right, by indictment, you're charged with assault of a peace officer or judge as a second-degree felony. Range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, The fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses. The state would call in the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Ms. Sullivan, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? All right, so nobody's promising you anything. The only thing that they promise you is what's in the plea. All right. If you're not a citizen, oh, I'm sorry, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear? Okay. If you're not a US citizen, by entering into this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and reentry. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There's a $1,200 fine. The state is recommending community supervision. They're taking in consideration 2025 CR 014893. There's to be restitution to Kenneth Kazak, Kazak, and there's to be restitution to Jeremiah Skake. I think I pronounced that right. It's SCHAKE, and cause number 2025 CR 014893. Did you understand that to be your plea? Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? By signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counselor, are there any such motions? Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours of community service restitution, the mental health evaluation, and MRT. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Okay. State, any evidence?
Did offer states one in attachment?
Your Honor, we've had an opportunity to go over that in its entirety. No,
All right, and state, have you had a chance to speak with the complainants?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in, the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are asking to, yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I've known my client as long as I've been appointed to represent her, and she's always been upfront and honest with me. I believe we recommended to the state, and we all agree, that the mental impairment caseload would help her. I believe she was having a manic episode, and she understands her actions got her in this situation. We've talked many a times. We ended up having some hearings downstairs. I say downstairs.
Mhm.
She was on Zoom. But we got through that, and then we went over the fact that she understands her actions and why she's here in front of you. She wants to make amends. She sat in jail, I think it was 87 days, and then they indicted her. And so I explained to her that they have 90 days to indict her, and y'all were gracious enough to put her on the docket before we sat in for the 2-week period. We would hope you would follow the plea bargain. I believe when supervised and on the right track, she can be successful. We're not going to do it for her, but I think she needs a little bit of help, and we're asking you to follow that.
Does she have any type of criminal history?
She has the same charge, but was deferred adjudication and successfully completed.
All right. Do you have any support, family support, a place to stay?
I have friends that I can depend on, or just be able to get out and talk to them. Other than that, my family really doesn't support me, although they like me to support them when it comes out of me. It's not.
Do you have any children?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. All right, so here's my question. And sometimes I veer a little bit outside my lane, but it sounds like, and you would have to talk to the assistant district attorney who's in mental health court. Did you check with mental health court? Maybe she would be great for that program. I'm not sure. They would, the state has veto power on whether somebody's entered into the program. But it's a pretrial diversion program. So what we could do, I would go ahead and accept her plea. And then if you would like her to be reviewed for mental health court, because she's going to need some intensive help, you can let mental health court know. State, if she's accepted into mental health court, would you all object to a motion for new trial? Because I'm reading the stipulations and it appears that she was suffering from a manic episode related to mental health. Now, what I can tell you about the mental health court, because Judge Ron Rangel asked me to be presiding judge with him in that program. It's a very intensive program, but it's designed to give you the tools that you need to be successful and know who to contact if you see yourself potentially going astray. I know it's hard to do it when you have a mental health episode, but it's a program and it's for a year, and they will give you the tools that you need if they accept you. I think you would be probably a good candidate for it, but I don't have the final say. The state has the veto power because they can look at your case history or look at this and say, no, you're not acceptable. I will accept, your plea, sentence you today. But if the state is okay with you going to mental health court, if you're accepted, what will end up happening, your attorney will have to come back and do a motion for new trial. And if the state has no objection, I'll grant the motion for new trial. And then you will be in the mental health court.
I have talked to Betty and Amanda at the Center for Healthcare Services and had plans to talk to them whenever I got out to get help with mental health. moving forward.
Well, you may want to talk to your attorney about the mental health court, and he can.
Does she remain in custody, or is she granted probation and then?
No, she'll be granted probation, and then she'll be on the outside. And if she's accepted, she's accepted. If she's not accepted, then she'll continue with this.
I would keep an open mind to that, Your Honor.
All right, so they'll keep an open mind to it. I really think that would probably be the best for you, because probation, the officers are great, but they can't see her as much as she would probably need to be seen.
What happens with this?
Oh, no, we're still gonna, we'll still do that.
I got you. Okay.
Yes. Now, what I can tell you about mental health court, if for some reason you don't successfully complete it, then you'll be right back here. All right. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 5 years. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no residing in households with minors. No unsupervised contact with minors. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Uh, 150 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order the MRT. Once the MRT is completed, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be restitution, if any, to Kenneth Hazak and Jeremiah Skakey and cause number 2025 CR 014893. $1,200 fine that will be probated. You're welcome. Mental health evaluation that can be done out of custody. Are you med compliant? Do they have you on any medications at the jail?
They have, however, it's medication I've known in my past, is not really great for me. I have plans to, when I get out, a doctor where I can actually get on the right medication.
All right, there's going to be a referral center for healthcare services. Probation, I'm sorry, there's going to be the MRT, and then I'll deduct 100 hours for that. And then we'll do anger management, and the remaining 50 hours will be deducted for that. And there's to be no contact with Easy Pawn on so you can go to other shops, but yeah. It's going to be at Harry Warsbach and Rittiman. Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
Hopefully moving forward, things will be better.
Okay. Oh, and I'm sorry, Ms. Abrams, if you could do a referral to mental health court. And they're just gonna make sure they interview you. And then it'll be up to you if they decide to accept you, whether or not you want to be in the program.
The program that you stay somewhere in, like.
No, I mean, you'll be,
Or is it
no.
something you go to like once a week or a couple?
You'll be out and about.
Okay.
You won't be in custody. Now, I can tell you this, sometimes people are placed in lifetime recovery, but that's because maybe a drug issue has occurred. But it's all geared towards rehabilitation, and hopefully you won't come back in the system, right? Because mental health issues are real. People think they're not real. And honestly, sometimes people have mental health issues. The jail is not the place to address those issues. All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Yeah,
But I know you call with the school, if I need advice on anything.
All right. All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? We can go off the record. Here's the thing. In this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. Do not disappear for months at a time. If you see something is off, or you just feel like you need to talk to somebody, you can call your probation officer. What I can tell you, and your attorney will tell you this, I have compliance time and hearings in my court, because sometimes people just need a reminder, right? And then sometimes people have issues. So address those issues with your probation officer. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always, if I'm here, you can come into court and speak to me about it, and we'll see if we can solve the issue. All right, thank you. Oh, and then what I can tell you too, I know it's the holiday season, and holiday seasons are very stressful for everybody. NUMMI and your attorney will be able to give you the hotline for them. You can always call and talk to them. Because honestly, I don't think anybody plans on being here for Christmas, right? So you won't be able to come in here and speak to me on Christmas Day because the court will be called, yeah. But NAMI, they have a number and you can call them anytime. All right. All right. Good luck to you.
May we be excused? Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Enjoy the holidays. and-
Oh, thank you too. All right, Deputy Mejia, if y'all can see if all the jurors are here, they're here. All right, if y'all can bring out Mr. Prada. Right, that one. Yeah. Oh, and can you put a note in there and let them know that a motion for new trial will be granted if she's accepted?
Oh,
Because, yeah, because otherwise they're gonna say she's not acceptable. Yes.
This is order to pay Dr. Fabio. Case,
All right, is this case concluded?
yes,
Okay.
it slipped through the cracks.
Mhm.
Forget about three.
Yes, we're working.
All righty,
Thank you.
you're welcome. All right, and I'm gonna go grab some water and then I will be back. In defense, while you were not here, I told the state, I anticipate we'll finish with all the witnesses, then we'll come back in the afternoon for closing argument.
Okay.
Okay. No, I'm aware of Dr. Jumis. No, but is he gonna say that because of A, B, and C, this is why he behaved that way?
No, he's done psychological evaluations, he's done testing. There's some testing that indicates testing consistent with possible brain injury. So he's done testing that's documented because he's worked with clinical neurologists.
So
before.
he's gonna talk about the brain injury?
Yes, he has an opinion about that, and he did some testing that is specifically for
All right,
that.
and what is his opinion about the brain injury?
He says the testing is consistent with possible brain injury, because it doesn't matter, like there's the IQ test. And then for certain parts of pressure decision making, he drops by more than 2 standard deviations.
Mhm.
That's not normal. That's consistent with potential brain injury. He knows that. He's worked in this field before.
Well, I mean, the state is saying they don't know what,
And Your Honor, I don't think, as a psychologist, he's not qualified to diagnose brain.
all right,
injury.
bring him in. Is he here?
He's not here yet. Judge, he's our second witness. He should be here at 11 with time hat.
Well, see if you can get him there early. They want a hearing.
But I feel like that opens. No, I feel like it opens the door to, because if you're saying, yeah, there are other people information, okay, well, those people didn't really kill it. Like, we need to get into the facts then, so that they understand, like, those people did get it.
No, because I feel this will be better, so we could just have this hearing and then we can just go straight through.
Had a board discussion. We're gonna have it. Dumas has been a notified expert for a long time, so this is the first I'm hearing of this. I don't have a motion, so I don't know. I don't know what they're asking for a hearing on yet specifically.
I have no idea. We'll find out. Okay, thank you. Hi, Dr. Jumas. Good morning. All right, Dr. Jimis. Dr. Jimis, if you'll take a seat here and if you'll put on the microphone. The state is requesting a hearing in regards to your expertise in your field of expertise. So we're going to have that hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, there should be a square microphone up there. No, there should be a silver microphone. Cindy, do you have the silver microphone up there? Hang on. This one? No. It's a square microphone for the court reporter. How are you doing today?
Thanks.
Great, I can't complain. Sure.
There you go.
All right. Court is going to call 2023 CR 11452 and 2023 CR. Oh, no problem.
Okay.
Oh, they haven't brought him out yet.
Are you able to hear me, madam?
Yes.
How have things been going?
Good.
Yeah.
A little busy near the end of the year.
Oh my gosh, I know.
How do you spell your last name?
Jumes. Looks like James, but with a U.
Okay, your first name,
Michael, Michael,
PhD or?
PhD. Yes.
I don't get to see you guys as much.
It's behind the scenes
Yeah. So how's everybody doing?
overall.
Yeah. Always need more funding though, right? I don't know if anyone needs your CV. I don't know if they're going to ask for that at all.
But I didn't bring one.
Well, that's okay.
Never occurred to me.
Ah, I know. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 11452 and 2023 CR 11453. State versus Jesus Prado. Could I have parties announced?
And Ernest Acevedo and Jonathan Alvarado, or Mr. Prado, who was also present.
All right. And so your expert witness defense is Dr. Jumis?
That is correct, Judge.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. If you'll state your name for the record, please.
My name is Michael Thomas Jumis, Jumes.
Right. All right, so off the record for a moment, Cindy. One, everyone needs his qualifications and what is specifically those qualifications are that relates to testimony he's going to give with your client. So if we can tighten it and not make this a let's cross-examination or life history, that will make things run smoothly. All right, Cindy, we're ready. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Dr. Jumis, can you give us the brief version of your resume and qualifications as a psychologist, how you've been trained and how you're certified?
Sure. So I earned a bachelor's degree in psychology at UT Austin. Went to graduate school, completed a PhD, a doctoral degree in clinical psychology at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center at Dallas. The program is accredited by the American Psychological Association, and I completed an accredited internship. I took work in my postdoctoral year at a brain injury rehabilitation center, and I completed my licensure requirements. I was licensed to practice psychology in 1997. I've been continuously licensed since that time.
Okay, now specifically to the brain injury, that's something I've asked you to give me an opinion about in the past and have you do an evaluation that potentially included some of that information, correct?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell the court your experience and in being a psychologist for people that were suffering from brain injuries?
So I trained in clinical psychology. That's a discipline that is focused on the assessment and treatment of mental illness. And so as a part of the training, there's coursework and practicum to learn about neuropsychological assessment and in the course of my work life, I worked for about 3.5 years at a brain injury rehabilitation center. I worked under the supervision of a neuropsychologist in Dallas, and I provided largely treatment for cognitive rehabilitation for people with acquired brain injuries. That were things mostly like head injuries and strokes. Sometimes for a person who may have had a tumor or other pathology, and the treatment centered on rehabilitation to help translate compensation strategies in areas of cognitive weakness using the preserved cognitive strengths to help a person adapt and adjust and improve in areas so that they could return to functioning in their life.
Okay, and so in that course of training, there are also testing procedures that you've been trained as a doctor to test for deficits or functioning of the brain that psychologists in this field learn.
Yes, and there's a divide in the practice of psychology in clinical. If you think about clinical psychology broadly, it's like a big umbrella. And one component of clinical psychology is the specialty of neuropsychology. I'm not a neuropsychologist, but my training and experience allow me to conduct a range of assessments that can help identify broad cognitive strengths and weaknesses. It's common for psychologists, clinical psychologists like me, to conduct intelligence testing. Some people have additional skills for achievement and academic testing. They might head into schools and help in school psychology. And part of looking at a person's mental status includes understanding some basics about their cognitive skills like memory and concentration and problem solving and judgment and aspects of decision making and insight, which are cognitive and they overlap with neuropsychology.
Okay, let me stop you there. 'Cause
Sure.
That's a lot of information. This is just to qualify you. Now, you have been qualified as an expert hundreds, if not thousands of times in court, probably. Is that fair to say?
Surely hundreds.
Okay. Additionally, as a psychologist and as a doctor, you are qualified to testify about the effects of depression on a person.
Yes.
Especially if you do a history with them.
Yes.
You're qualified to testify about mental health observations of somebody, a patient that you see.
Yes.
And you've testified about things along those natures in many, many cases in Texas courts.
Yes.
And specifically in regards to testing for brain injuries, that's part of your experience and practice.
Yes.
And part of your training, and so you're qualified to testify those things that you've talked about, correct?
I believe I am. Yes.
All right, I'll pass it.
You may proceed.
Hello, Dr. Dewey.
Hello.
We've never met before, correct?
I don't believe we have. No, ma'am.
Sure. My name's Morn. I have some questions for you. You said that you are not a neuropsychologist, but you can conduct assessments that can identify the strengths and weaknesses in a person's brain or their mental cognition. Is that fair?
Yes, I think generally that's fair.
And I may use the wrong terminology. But assessing whether or not someone's brain is having trouble functioning is not the same thing as assessing why someone's brain is having trouble functioning. And that's outside the purview of a psychologist, correct?
Well, I think there's two questions that you're asking. For the first, I'd say yes. And for the second, I would tend to disagree. We know a lot about the brain, and we sure don't know everything about the brain.
Okay. You're not a neuropsychologist though, correct?
Correct?
You're not a neurosurgeon?
Correct.
Okay.
And your training that you discussed, when you said that you were in a brain injury rehab center, that was an internship in the 90s?
So it was part of my work while I was in my postdoctoral year, and I got my supervision license at that center.
Okay, and that was in the 90s.
Yes, ma'am, late 19.
Okay. And the 3.5 years that you worked in the brain injury rehab center, that was under the supervision of someone who was an actual neuropsychologist or neurosurgeon?
Neuropsychologist, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what time frame was that?
I worked there between like 1995, 96 to 98.
Okay. And then after your time working in this brain injury field, I guess, in the 90s, did you move on to a different study of psychology?
So at that time, I took work at what was the Vernon State Hospital, and I worked with justice involved patients, some who were referred by courts to restore competency to stand trial, and others who had been found not guilty by reason of insanity.
Okay, and that's been the primary purpose or the primary field that you have worked in since you took that job at Vernon State Hospital, is assessing insanity or competency issues, correct?
That's correct.
And that's not involving brain injuries, correct?
Well, lots of people I see have had some kind of neurocognitive insult. A lot of justice-involved people have had head injuries. Some have had toxic exposure from drug use, and others have developed Alzheimer's and find themselves justice involved. And so, in the field I'm in, I take all comers, and some of them have no mental illness. Some have severe mental illness without any significant neurocognitive involvement, and others, the case is almost exclusively neurocognitive.
Okay. But I guess my understanding, and you're here to correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding of psychologists is that you're trained in assessing mental function, not assessing the reason for the failures of the mental function or the reason for the problems of the mental function. That is a medical doctor, a DO, a neuropsychologist, a neurosurgeon.
So I would disagree with you. A neuropsychologist, for example, is not a medical doctor. They would be a psychologist with specialty qualifications to take a variety of test results and parse the results to more specifically maybe localize the area of the brain involved, and to look at the what would be called ecological validity of the test findings against a person's everyday living, to help inform treatment to improve a person's functioning in those kinds of areas. We know a lot about the areas of the brain and how they influence certain things like memory or executive functioning or language processing. So there's a lot that we know, and psychology can help with understanding, and neuropsychology can be more specific with understanding those brain behavior relationships.
And you said you've been qualified as an expert hundreds of times, but that was insanity and competency evaluations, correct?
Yes, ma'am, largely.
Have you ever been qualified as an expert in assessing a traumatic brain injury or a physical medical brain injury as a explanation for mental health issues?
I don't know how to answer that. Again, so much of my work involves, in every case that I do, in every case, I consider cognitive function. I consider things like memory. In every case that I do, I consider attention.
Sorry. Do you need cough drops, water?
So in every case, I consider cognitive functioning, but I can't look back and recall any one case where I was called to focus specifically on neurocognitive factors.
I definitely, I'm going more towards structural. If we're talking about physical brain injury, like a TBI, a frontal lobe injury, some kind of physical injury, those diagnoses are reserved for the medical doctors, correct?
I would disagree. A neuropsychologist can render a diagnostic.
But you're not a neuropsychologist,
That's correct.
so you can't render that kind of an opinion.
So I think my qualifications and, mine is to function within a standard of practice. The psychologist would rely on the diagnostic and statistical manual to establish, for example, whether someone might have what's called a neurocognitive disorder in the DSM. Yep. So that's,
Saying why they have that neuro.
I would agree with you. That's correct. That's correct. Okay. Sorry.
Say why somebody has a neurocognitive.
So I would agree with you that you're talking about cause, and I would tend to agree.
Nothing.
Yes, so what level of expertise or what are you offering his testimony for?
Judge, I'm offering his testimony for his medical history, his evaluation, the testing he did. There is testing that he's absolutely qualified for that tests cognitive functioning, and there's some particular testing that he has observations about with Mr. Prado that are significant toward whether there's a deficit that's unusual that could be related to a traumatic brain injury. He has a history of traumatic brain injury in his medical history. He's going to I'm going to ask him to testify about depression and the facts and circumstances of how that can affect somebody's behavior and decision making. And so on that level, I think he's clearly qualified to test to that. He's trained in all of those things I'm going to ask him about. He has experience in all of those things I'm going to ask him about. And again, he's been qualified as an expert hundreds of times in Texas. And so I don't think there's any issue with question whether he's qualified to do all the things. The things he's done with Jesse, he's trained to do, and he has done with other people in his practice.
All right, State.
Yes, Your Honor. Dr. Duman, well, I don't doubt his qualifications as far as discussing what mental health issues he may see present in the defendant, what mental functional deficits he sees present in the defendant. I think he's qualified to assess that. I don't think that he is qualified, and I think he agreed to give an opinion as to this jury as to why that happened, whether it's from a traumatic brain injury, a hit on the back of the head, a frontal lobe injury, the defense counsel mentioned in an opening statement. He has stated he is not that kind of a doctor. He's not qualified to give an opinion as to the causation. He can talk about what he sees as far as his appearance and any functional issues that he may have, but not why they exist. I think that is outside of the realm of his expertise. He has been qualified lots and lots of times as an expert, but as he said, never in that field in assessing that the causation. He's been qualified as an expert in competency evaluations and sanity evaluations, and that is not why we're here. So that expertise and the fact that he's been qualified 100 times for that reason is not relevant to his qualifications for this particular hearing. Additionally, what he said about his training and experience in brain injuries was 30 years ago. The majority of his career, his most relevant, most present, most recent experience has been sanity and competency, not in assessing brain injuries. So we don't think he's qualified to give an opinion to that extent.
All right. It'll be overruled. He'll be allowed to testify. Is there anything else? All right. Is this going to be your first witness or second witness? All right. Rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone until this trial has concluded.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's bring the jurors in. Mr. Bunk, were you here for something? No. Okay. Cindy, are you gonna be okay over there?
It just hit me and I couldn't.
Yes, we're ready. All right, everyone, please be seated. Defense, call your next witness.
Call Madison. Prado.
All right, if you'll place that gray microphone somewhere on your sweater for me, please. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so everyone can hear. If you'll state your name for the record.
My name is Madison Prado.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Madison. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Are you nervous about today?
Yes.
You ever testified before?
No.
Okay. How are you related to Jesse Prado?
I'm his daughter.
And how old are you, Madison?
I'm 20.
Are you currently in school?
Yes.
Where are you in school?
I'm enrolled at the University of the Incarnate Word.
And what are you studying there?
I'm studying nursing.
Okay. I have some questions for you. And you know why we're here today, right?
Yes.
You know your father has pled guilty to assaulting 2 officers with a firearm. And this whole trial has been about what's the appropriate punishment for him. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay, I want to ask you some questions about your dad. Like, what are your first memories of him, you know, as a father to you? Like, where does it start with you?
My dad has always been a hard worker, and he always took care of us the best that he could with such little that he had.
Now, what's the first job you remember him having? Because I mean, he was working before you were born, right?
Yes.
You know about some of that history, but like, where was he working when you first can remember him coming home from work?
Probably Midway Towing Company.
And what do you remember about his job as a tow truck driver?
Oh man, he would always come home in sweaty, oily clothes from the cars.
Would you all ask him questions about his day, or figure out how he got so dirty, or that kind of like a process for a kid when that's your dad's job?
Not really. I feel like every time he came home, it was always just like a "Daddy, you're home," kind of jump in his arms type of thing.
So I guess during those days, your 2 little sisters weren't born yet, right?
That is correct.
Your relationship with your father, how would you describe it as a young girl, like prior to your sisters being born?
My dad was and is still my best friend.
Okay, well, what do you mean by that? Can you explain to the jury like why you feel that way, or
I mean, me and my dad, we always did everything together, whether it be, going to the park. Every now and then we would go fishing. He would always cook anything that I wanted for dinner, even if it was just a sandwich or
some ramen.
Was he the kind of father that would always make sure he's doing fun things with you when he wasn't working?
Always.
What was the family life like? Where were y'all living when he was a tow truck driver and you first started having memories of him?
We lived in a trailer house.
And where was that? Was that San Antonio?
Yes.
What part of town was that in?
It was on the northeast side.
All right, and so, I mean, how would you describe your young girl years when you lived with your mom and your dad in the trailer? What was life like for you then?
I mean, I had my own room. Every time I wanted something, my parents would make it happen. So I had a lot of toys. So I feel like I had a really good childhood.
Was the household a loving household?
Yes.
Mom and dad love each other, and were you just happy with a happy family at those times?
Yes.
How would you describe your parents' relationship, I guess, up through your early teenage years? How are they as a couple? From your perspective as a child who lived in the house?
As a child, I always thought the relationship was perfect. And even going into my teenage years, I felt like it was pretty good. I mean, I never really knew like what a relationship should look like. And I feel like they made a prime example of one.
All right, now, what other jobs did your father have up as you got towards your teenage years?
Whenever he was a tow truck driver, at the time he was in and out of the oil field. He was a derrick man, so he worked at the very top. And after he finally just decided to stop with the oil field, he went to Roadrunner Towing. And then from Roadrunner Towing, he went to Rental One. And from Rental One, he went to Mondelez International delivering cookies.
And like that last job, that cookie one, it's not just like delivering baked cookie, that was with like a commercial vehicle.
Yes, he was a CDL driver.
Do you remember when he got his CDL? What was that like in the family?
Whenever he got his CDL, we were still living in the trailer house. So I remember the day that he got his CDL license, he was sitting on the couch going through his emails. And I want to say my mom was cooking because it was her day to cook. And whenever he just like screamed out, I got my CDL, my mom just started, jumping up and down, like, yes, like we're gonna do this, we're gonna get the house of our dreams. And she just jumped into his arms and they were both crying.
So I guess the importance of the CDL then was that, I mean, that was going to be a big pay increase for him.
Absolutely.
Being able to drive commercial vehicles for bigger companies. Was that what the excitement about, like, I mean, that was the point of why everybody was so happy, because it was going to give him a different opportunity with potentially much greater income.
Yes.
So when he got that job, I mean, is that what happened? Is that what kind of enabled y'all to be able to buy the house that was on Alta Puerto?
Correct.
Do you remember how old you were when y'all moved into that neighborhood?
I was 13, 14 years old.
And when did your sister start coming around? Much older are you than that?
My middle sister, I'm 9 years older than her. I was 9 when
she was around when y'all moved in, and your little sister, when was she born in relation to you?
Malin, sorry. I think she was born in 18. So I would have been 12, 13.
So was it the three of y'all that were moving into the bigger house and the much nicer neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay, so now I want to ask you about what your father was like as a person during this time.
Okay.
There's been testimony that your dad was pretty outgoing. Do you have information about him being unusually friendly, to people in the world? Like, let me give you an example. Like, I mean, there's stories about him at the supermarket.
Oh, yes.
When you describe his friendliness to people, what do you think the jurors should know about what he was like out in the real world?
He was the type of person where if we were driving somewhere, going somewhere, and you were stopped on the side of the road having car troubles, and he passed you, he was going to take the U-turn, the next U-turn, and turn around and help you fix your car so you can get wherever you're going safely and not stranded on the side of it.
That's something you saw him do on many occasions.
Many times.
What about meeting people, like, strangers? Would
Mhm.
you start conversations with strangers in a way that you tend not to?
Yeah, I don't tend to do that very often, but every time I was with my dad, it was always, "Oh, how's your day going?" Or, like, "I prefer this brand over this brand," if we were in a store. He would always talk to you. If you were having a bad day, even a simple smile for him could go a long way. Just brighten up your day.
Now, I know you told the jury about some of his oil field days. I guess you were around when you knew that he was one of the guys who worked at the top of the derricks, right?
Hmm.
That's admittedly one of the more dangerous positions for an oil worker, right?
Very.
And you can be 100 feet in the air on just the metal scaffolding,
Hmm.
and there's no protection if you fall. I mean, they chain themselves in, right? They
Correct.
connect to the wire, but it's a dangerous position.
Absolutely.
Did your father get to the point where he was a trainer for people?
Yes.
And I guess you have personal information, like you've seen some of the people he's trained, and you've seen the way they've reacted to him, right?
Yes.
What can you say to the jury about people that you saw him train that they might want to know about or need to know about if they want to understand?
The people that my dad trained when he was in the oil field, he would train ex-military vets. He would train people who were just trying to get on their feet, people who had just gotten out of jail, prison, things like that, out of hard situations such as that. He would train them to be better people and a hard work.
Was there one specific example of a guy he trained and he was messing with the derrick up in the piping that goes into the ground? That's what they do when they're up there.
Yes.
That you remember that made you proud or made you think a lot of your dad.
Yes. There's a video of this guy that he was training. And my dad asked him, "What do you want to be whenever you grow up?" And he says, "I want to be like Jesse Prado." And my dad says, "Show me." And in the video, it's him throwing the pipe up on the derricks. And he just says, like, "That's how we do it over here, Jesse Prado style."
Now, if we're going to talk about his character outside of his friendliness, did your dad ever get into trouble
No,
prior to this case?
no,
Did he ever come close to getting into trouble?
no,
Did you ever see him get mean or ugly with anybody in your life?
no,
Anybody?
no.
So I know people have said this case is so out of character. How do you feel about that? I mean, because are there troublemakers in the family or people? Have you met people that you're a little bit more worried about because they can get themselves in trouble? Have you met people like that?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, specifically about your father, you've heard that he was helpful. People have mentioned that he was generous. Now, your dad was never a rich man, right? I mean, he was
No.
always a blue collar worker, worked really hard for what he got, right?
Correct.
But was he generous anyway?
Yes.
There are examples of that 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 kind of show what kind of person he is.
I mean, anytime somebody would ask, like, "Hey, do you have a simple $20 I can borrow?" My dad was the type of person to always give extra. So, like, if you needed $20, he'd hand over a 50 or, 40 if he had it. Anything you needed, he would try and double it, and he would never ask for anything in return.
He had helped get a friend a car too, didn't he? He needed transportation, so Jesse facilitated get the car for one of his friends. Remember that?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Um. Um. Now, how was he with your mom growing up in your household? How did he treat your mother, since you can remember? Up until we get to the point of when all this bad stuff started happening.
My mom, I feel like was treated like a queen, like the queen she is. You know, my dad always did what he could for her as well. Anything, it was kind of like me, anything that she wanted, she would get.
So, okay, so now I want to talk about a little bit of the harder stuff. There's been a lot of testimony about Noel or Wedo unexpectedly passing when he was 49 years old. Do you remember that?
Yes,
Was that very difficult on the family in general?
very.
How specifically hard was it on your dad?
It was very hard on my dad. At the time that my Tío Güero did pass away, we were getting ready for my quinceañera, my birthday party, basically my sweet 16, but 15. And you know, my family, we were going through that very hard loss. And on top of that, I had a party going on. So I feel like after my Tío Güero did pass away, my dad realized like he kind of lost his father figure. So it was just very hard on everybody in the family.
Now, what was the time frame between that and then when something happened in your parents' marriage where there was, I mean, the affair? I mean, you know about that, right?
Yes.
Your mother stepped out of the marriage. What was the time frame compared to your uncle's passing and when that became an issue in your parents' marriage?
I would say a little over a year, maybe, if not 2.
So if were you able to form any opinions on just how your uncle's passing was affecting your father, I guess, during that year before the next big problem came up?
Yes.
What kind of changes that you notice in him that you could tell that, you know, he wasn't his normal self?
I mean, my dad was always a very hard worker, but I feel like after my Tío did pass away, he just put his, you know, his working cap on and just went to work and did his best every day. That was the type of man that my dad was. He would kind of bury his feelings in work, try to keep his mind busy and off of everything else.
Now, was your dad the kind of guy to ask for help for himself or go to the doctor, or I mean, or was he just kind of the tough it out kind of guy?
More so of the tough it out kind of guy. He's kind of like like that I got myself type of guy. He never asked for help ever.
Were you able to tell during those points that, you know, he was definitely feeling something significant that you'd never seen before?
At the time, I was 15 or so, so I never really thought much of it. But looking back, I feel like yes, like I should have seen it back then.
Now, did your parents' marriage start changing visibly for you when the affair got disclosed? What was that like when that first happened?
When the affair did come out, it was kind of interesting. I never thought that it would come down to that. You know, my dad was just always kind of like, okay, like I see, you know, like where I did wrong. I went to work. That's all I knew that I could do. So he never really like thought it would come down to that either. the marriage I always thought was like okay just because, you know, my parents went to bed with each other every night. I never really thought much of it until after it came out and my mom left.
There's been some testimony about a slap that your father may have given to your mother during, I guess, this time frame near the affair. Do you know about that?
I did. However, whenever my mom told me, I did not believe her.
Let me stop you there. Like, this is an after the fact. Like, she told you right when it happened, right? Like,
She told me that same day that it happened. I was in my bedroom with her and she was like, I need to tell you something. And she told me, and I looked at her and I was like, what? Like, are you crazy? And she was like, no, like, this actually happened. And I still really did not believe her.
why wouldn't you believe her?
My dad has never once been physical with my mom, ever. I never saw my dad get physical with her.
Okay, and how about with you and your sisters? Would he the spanking type? Did he ever spank you or discipline you physically?
No. And if he did, it was a single spanking and he'd be like, okay, like that's it. I can't do anymore.
Who is generally the person in charge of your discipline if you or your sisters got in trouble?
My mom.
Okay, so to kind of go back to this one slap,
Mm.
did your mother have any injuries?
No.
That one of the reasons why you were skeptical too, because
Yes.
she had no injuries, red marks, nothing.
There was nothing visible on her face.
All right, now you did kind of confirm it with your father.
Yes.
And so what is your understanding of just what went on that night?
After she told me that, I walked over to my parents' bedroom and I looked him dead in the eye and I said, did you hit her? And he said, yes, but with the back of my hand. And it was like basically just a little petty slap.
What was your reaction to that? I mean,
I just said, why? And he just said, I don't know.
okay. This was during the time of the affair disclosure, wasn't it?
Around the time, yes, sir.
In the 22 years your parents were together like that, is that the
Mm.
only time you ever saw anything remotely related to that, like that?
Correct. I never saw the slap happen, but whenever I found out about it, I did not believe my mom until I confirmed it with my dad. And I was like, wow, like it's kind of crazy. Like let's not do anything like that ever again.
And that was a one-time deal at a very stressful time in the
Correct.
marriage.
Correct.
Okay, now at some point, is your father the person who wanted to work it out, forgive, and keep the family unit going?
Yes, absolutely.
And you know your mom had filed divorce, I think it was March of 23. Does that sound about right? You know, I mean, she filed for divorce, so you knew that, right?
Yes, I don't know the date or when my dad was served.
Okay, but she wasn't following through on the divorce. They were still seeing each other as husband and wife regularly.
Correct.
Now she was staying with her mother for the most part, right?
Yes.
But would she come over all the time and be a mother at the house and be a wife to Jesse?
Yes.
So even after she filed for the divorce, she would still come over. They would still be husband and wife. They would still be intimate with each other. They would still be family time all together, where y'all would do stuff all together.
That's correct.
And so during that time, you know, father was like, okay, let's make this work.
Yes.
Right? What actions did he do to say, let's make this work?
He was requesting that we all go to church as a family.
And you know, he got baptized later in life because he had started going to church on his own, right?
Yes.
And he got in a men's group that you were aware of that, right?
Yes.
All right, with regards to leading, that will be sustained.
What church did he start going to?
Community Bible Church.
And did he start that by himself or with the whole family?
He started by himself. He went one weekend by himself, and then the next weekend he looked at me, he was like, dude, you gotta come with me. And I was like, all right. So we went, and then I believe about a month later, we started taking my mom and my sisters. And my sisters were a part of the preteen group at the time.
And during that time, your father was still intent on trying to keep the family together despite everything that was very important to him.
Yes.
After he lost Wedo, like his family, I guess the only other thing he had, I mean, incredible love for, like that was his everything at that point.
Yes.
Did it seem like he was making every effort to do the right thing and be the right person and try to keep the family unit together?
Yes, absolutely.
During all this time, like all the way up until October, was your mom still going to church with y'all?
Just about, yes.
Was she still coming over and being a wife at home, even though they were still kind of separated?
Yes.
And during that period of time, could you tell that your father's effort was doing everything he possibly could to keep
Yes.
that marriage together?
Yes.
So in October, did something start changing as we got into October, basically a week or two before this incident happened that we're here about? Things start changing? Like, well, what happened to the family dynamic in October?
In October, my mom started slowly not coming home. And whenever she would pick up my sisters and just leave when she would usually stay. And then whenever my dad realized like, okay, like she hasn't stayed with us in a while, like I think she's really starting to be gone. That's whenever he started like calling into work, things like that. He started losing more sleep than the sleep that he was already losing. And that was just very unlike him. He was never the one to call out of work just because he wasn't feeling it. He was always the type to toughen up and go to work.
I guess if there was anything that was always consistent in Jesse's life, it just, I mean, the work was always there. I mean, he worked crazy hours, crazy hard.
All the
Whole
time.
life, right?
Yes.
So in October, shortly before this, talked about sleeping issues. It seemed as though he was suffering from insomnia.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, what did you see that makes you say that?
Like that led up to me
Well,
thinking
no,
of
like-
insomnia.
Well, okay, you're telling this jury that he seemed to have significant sleeping issues. Like, so what did you see? Like, how did that show itself in your life? Like what made you have that opinion? Like, what you actually saw of him?
He just had the lack of energy. He would try his best to just sleep it off. There were times I would come home from school and I would just wake him up and be like, hey, like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm just tired. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go downstairs and cook dinner. And I'm like, when it's ready, you're gonna come down and you're gonna eat. And he's like, okay. And he would come down and eat and go right back to sleep just to get ready for work the next morning.
And so these days prior to this police incident, had he called in to work some days? So like, I'm calling in, I'm not going to work today.
Correct.
Again, in hindsight, is that just something that would have been completely out of character for him?
Absolutely.
Was there something going on in his head? Something had to go on for him to be like that, right?
I think it was just all of the stress between the bills piling up, my mother not being home as often, and just the fact that he couldn't sleep very well at night.
No, I guess through that experience, I mean, he was still being tough. Did he complain to you?
No,
But in the few days before this incident, there were issues going on with him that you could see, but you probably hadn't really figured out or thought much of.
correct.
Okay, so now I want to talk to you about October 19th, because you were there at the house that day earlier, correct?
Correct.
Okay, what do you remember about the start of October 19th? What happened that morning? What went on that day?
The start of that morning, I had school that day. I know my dad did not go to work. He woke me up before my alarm and asked me if I wanted to go get Dutch Bros and McDonald's. And that's exactly what we did. And he took me to school.
Okay, so you were at Madison High School at the time, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you went to school. What happened after school was over?
After school was over, I had track practice, so my mom picked me up from school. And that day I was getting ready to go to a concert. And so she took me home and we pulled into the driveway and she asked me where my dad was. And I said, "Oh, I'm not sure. Like, he didn't tell me anything." And she was like, "Well, I need the girls." And I said, "Okay, I'll text him." So I went inside of the house. I started getting ready for the concert. Me and my dad are texting back and forth. I had called him multiple times before he started answering his phone, and he had told me that he took my sisters to the movies to go see the Barbie movie since it had just recently came out at the time. And whenever I told my mom that, she was like, "Well, he didn't tell me anything." And I said, "I apologize." And she
Okay.
took me to my best friend's house.
All right, so she drops you off at your best friend's house. And I guess that's the last time you left the house before you came back after everything had happened.
Correct.
Now, I guess in that time you were gone, uh, your mom and dad did get into an argument. Do you know that your mom had called the police?
I didn't know until after the fact.
And then you know that Jesse shot 2 police officers. You know that now. You weren't there, but that's something that's obviously been one of the biggest deals of your life ever since it happened.
Yes.
You were the only person of, I guess almost adult age in the house that day, besides Jesse and Lynette. What are your thoughts on what happened? How could your father have done something so out of character? What is your opinion on it at this point?
I never thought I would be sitting up here giving testimony. But I mean, that day it was just so much for him over the past 2-3 years. And I mean, that day it was just the perfect storm for him. It was the perfect collection of words and actions happening all in the month of October, and it was barely halfway through.
As your mother told you that Jesse's eyes glazed over right before this happened when they were having an
Yes.
argument, you had discussions with her about that, right?
Yes.
I mean, did something break in him? I mean, do you know? I mean, you know this man about as well as anybody in this world. I mean, he did a bad thing. I mean, a horrible thing.
Yes.
He's been such a good guy his whole life. Like, I mean, with zero problems. When I mean zero, like zero.
Mhm.
Judge, I'm gonna object to leading. and
Sustained.
counsel testifying.
Sustained.
How different was that action from the man and father you know?
It wasn't him. He wasn't being himself in that action.
All right, the jury certainly has hard decisions as far as figuring out. Do you have opinions on what you would like to see happen to your father?
I mean, I feel as though he is better now. I know that for a certain.
There's been some testimony that, you know, in 2 years he's been in jail. He's had no write-ups, like basically perfect behavior.
Mhm.
That consistent with the man that you know,
Yes,
somebody who just never causes problems for anybody.
correct.
Are your mom and dad officially divorced now?
Yes,
Has your mom moved on in her life?
yes,
Other relationships?
yes.
Do you think your father is in a better space in his head now than he was October 19th, 2023?
Yes,
You all talk regularly on the phone?
yes,
Do a lot of his family members talk on the phone?
yes.
He gets 1 hour a day where he can make a phone call, right? Does he try to use that hour every day he has to stay in touch with his loved ones?
Yes,
Do you know if he knows what he did was wrong based on your conversations with him?
yes.
Do you fear whether your father could put himself in a position, anything like this in the future? Do you think that's a real possibility or as unlikely as anything you can think of?
I feel like it's very unlikely.
I'll pass the witness. Judge.
State.
Okay, good morning, Madison.
Good morning.
I understand that this is tough for you, but I do have a couple of questions that I need to ask you, okay?
Okay.
So I want to kind of start out about your childhood. So from what we've heard from multiple witnesses, it sounds like your dad was a very hardworking man that provided for his family. Would you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
And so I kind of want to talk to you because you talked about him being employed in the oil fields and then also in towing. So when you were a child, do you remember when he was employed in the oil field? Would he kind of be gone for weeks at a time at work?
Yes,
Okay, and then he would return to the home and stay there for like a week maybe and then have to go back to work. Is that fair to say?
yes,
Okay, and then or I guess when he was either CDL driving or doing the tow truck driving, at some point, he was working an overnight shift, is that correct?
that is correct.
Okay, and so during that time, I guess a lot of the responsibility as far as child rearing, like taking you to school and cooking your meals and stuff, the majority of that kind of fell on your mom, is that fair to say?
It was about 50-50.
Okay, but I mean, usually when somebody works night, they have to get their sleep during the day, you would agree with that, right?
When he was in the towing company, he would work days.
Okay,
Sometimes overnights, but it was mainly during the day that he would work.
and so I guess you said you're 20 years old, right?
Yes,
Okay, and so I guess you don't have any children, right?
no,
So you're not really familiar with like things that would go on in a marriage or like strains that a partner, a father of your children being away could have on like a marital relationship, right?
I mean, I know how hard it can be. I lived it from a childhood perspective.
Okay, so it was kind of hard on your family that your dad, even though he was providing financially, that he had to be gone away from home to do that, right?
Correct.
Okay. And so I guess kind of with that dynamic, I mean, because your mom is the one that's there majority of the time, like 24/7, the discipline aspect kind of falls on her, right?
Not entirely.
Okay, but you said your dad was rarely kind of disciplined you, is that what you said?
Yes,
Okay, and usually, I mean, that's a normal dynamic in situations like that, where one parent has to be away providing for the family and one is staying in the home, you would agree with me, right?
yes.
Okay. And so now I kind of want to talk to you because Mr. Acevedo was saying, and you said that it was a perfect storm of things that occurred in the month of October of 2023. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. And so were you familiar with any specific instances of conduct between your mother and your father other than the slap that you described to the jury?
Like physical?
No, just like threats or arguments that were going on at the time.
I know about some arguments, but threats? No.
Okay. Um. Just give me. Because what you described to this jury is that you've known your father to be a good man, and that he treated your mother like a queen and everything like that. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm gonna show you what has been entered into evidence on State's Exhibit number 1. If you can't see the screen in front of you, just feel free to turn around and look at the big screen, okay? So in State's Exhibit number 1, that date right there is January 13th of 2023, correct?
Correct.
And you're aware that this is a screenshot from your mother's phone, correct?
Correct.
And so that means that the text that your mother is sending would be in the blue bubbles, correct?
Correct.
And the text that she's receiving from your father would be this gray text right here, right?
Correct.
Okay, and so were you aware that in January of 2023, your father made a threat to your mother in which he states, "We need to put it in the market before I burn this bitch down"? Were you aware of that?
I am now.
Okay, but before today, you weren't aware of that.
Correct.
Is that consistent with your dad's character?
No.
Okay, and that's not really consistent with a perfect storm just occurring in the month of October of 2023, correct? Is it something that had been going on since January of 2023?
Like I said, it was a collection of actions and words not happening only in the month of October, but from my Tío Güero's death as well. It does take years to get to that point.
Okay, so I guess maybe I just misunderstood you because the way that you described it was like everything occurred in October of 2023. But if I'm understanding you correctly now, you're kind of describing it as like a snowball effect of like everything just coming downhill. Is that what you're saying?
More so, yes. It was more so of a slow progression.
Okay. And then regarding the slap, there's been a lot of mention that your father has had no prior criminal history up until now, and you're aware of that, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then regarding him slapping your mother, are you aware that even if there are no injuries, that is a criminal offense in the state of Texas?
I am now.
Okay, and so your mother could have called the cops on him in January, and he could have been arrested on that. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you feel like that was out of character for him to do in January of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
And you stated that you were surprised by that, right?
Yes.
Okay, but the only thing that you told him to do was to not do that again. Right?
Yes.
And I'm not trying to be hard on you because really it's not the responsibility of a child to, correct their parents' behavior. But with that, did you ever think of maybe calling the police on him to get some type of intervention into what was going on?
No.
Okay. And why is that?
Honestly, I don't have an answer for that. I just knew from there that nothing like that would ever happen again. But unfortunately, something a little worse happened. However, at the time, I knew in my heart and in my mind that he would never do it again.
Right. And that's understandable, right? Because that's your dad and you love him, right?
Correct.
And so then when we're talking about what happened in October, looking at text messages from October 19th and 18th, let me back up. Okay, so you stated on October 19th, 2025. It seems like in the morning it was, 2023, excuse me, the date of the offense. It seemed like in the morning it was a fairly routine day for you and your father. Is that how you describe it?
Yes.
Yeah, like taking you to Dutch Bros and McDonald's and having a good time with them.
Yes.
Okay. And so I guess, were you aware that he was homicidal at that time?
No.
Okay, and so you weren't aware of text messages that he sent to your mom, asking him for the address of her lover?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you specifically number 7. And if we look at the date on that, that's October 19th of 2023, is that correct?
There's no year, but I'm guessing.
Okay. But it says October 19th, right?
Correct.
And then if we look down here, this would have been after he dropped you off at school, right? You would have been at school at this time.
Correct.
But if we look at what he's texting your mom, he says, I'm gonna go kill that motherfucker. Were you aware that he's having those feelings?
No.
And so when we talk about the offense that happened, the shooting of the 2 police officers, for a while you blamed your mom for what occurred, is that correct?
In a sense, yes.
Okay. And why is that?
I didn't blame her for the offense. I blamed her for the fact that she left home and did not tell me.
Okay. And was that just in the month of October or earlier in the year?
She left early in the year. I had gotten home from track practice and I heard it from my best friend's mom that my mother was not going to be home at the time. So I felt as though my mother abandoned me at home. But
That's understandable. And so when you said that your dad was doing everything to keep his marriage together, you were really not familiar with the inner workings of the communications that he was having with your mom, like outside of your presence, right? Like as exhibited in these text messages.
that's correct.
And so I'm not sure if you have like much romantic relationship experience due to your age, but in analyzing those texts, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. But in analyzing those text messages, that doesn't really seem like somebody that's doing the best that they can to salvage their marriage, right?
That's correct. It's very out of his character.
Okay. And so then when we're turning to the offense state, and blaming your mom, she's not the one that purchased the firearm, right?
No.
Okay, and she's not the one that kept the gun stored openly in the home, right?
No.
Okay, and she's not the one that went to the gas station and purchased gasoline to keep there in the home, right?
No.
Okay, she's not the one that grabbed the blowtorch on that day, right?
No.
And she's not the one that locked herself in the home, correct?
No.
And she's not the one that grabbed that AR-15 and set up in a tactical position to shoot 2 San Antonio police officers, correct?
No.
That was all your dad's doing, right?
Correct.
And I want to show you what has been entered into evidence as exhibit number 59. Do you recognize what is depicted in there?
My room.
That's your room, correct?
Correct.
And does that cause you any concern that your dad committed this offense from your room?
Say that one more time.
Does that concern you that he committed the offense from your bedroom?
It does concern me that it was my room.
Because you weren't able to return to your room, correct?
Correct.
And if we look at safety exhibit number 61, I mean, you wouldn't be able to return to a room with that many gunshot defects in the wall, right?
Correct, but those gunshots were not my father.
Well, we'll get to that. But my point is that your father had a choice to make that day. You would agree with me, right?
Correct.
And the choice that he made was to enter to your room, see all of your belongings in there, and choose to make a statement to your mom and shoot two police officers instead of seeing your belongings and choosing to remain present in his family's life.
I feel as though if you're not in the right state of mind, all of that does not cross your mind.
And then regarding the night that it occurred, even though you never really made it to the concert, did you?
No.
Okay. I guess someone called you and let you know what was going on.
Correct.
Was that person your mom?
No.
Okay.
She did not call me at all that night. I did
Okay.
not talk. I did not speak to her after she dropped me off at my friend's house.
And so when you return to the scene, you're kind of emotional when you return to the scene, right?
Correct.
And you're not sure what's going on the scene, right?
Correct.
And so even though your father has just shot two police officers, you were still kind of relying on the police department to be kind, respectful, and professional with you and update you as to your father's well-being, correct?
Correct.
And they did do that for you, right?
In some sense.
Okay. And when you arrived on scene, you stated to the police officer that you didn't want to talk to your mom at all, right?
Correct.
And that's because you were mad at her.
I was mad at the situation.
Okay. And you were also worried about your dog because your dog was in the home when this occurred, correct?
She wasn't inside of the home. She was outside in the backyard.
Okay. But still, when you arrived, you didn't know what state she was in, correct?
They did tell me that she was alive and well.
And when you say they, is that?
The San Antonio Police Department.
Okay. And then when we're still talking about this perfect storm, are you aware that really what set your dad off that day is that your mom wanted the home? That's what they were fighting about, of her keeping that Altapuerta residence. Did you know that?
I was not aware of the contents of the argument. However, she was stating that a million times beforehand.
Okay.
And at one point, my dad said that she can have it.
Okay, so if you look at case exhibit number 6, then are you aware that on the 19th of October, your dad was sending your mom text screenshots to indicate that he was going to sue her for child support for you and your sisters?
I have not seen this, no.
Ron, I'll just say that that question misstates the evidence, what the message says, so I'm going to object on the statement. Evidence.
That was the testimony from the witness to that. And the screenshot is clearly depicted the child support guideline percentage.
All right, the objection will be overruled. You can answer if you can answer.
Say one more time.
You can answer the question if you can answer the question.
Okay, what was the question?
I think you already answered it. You just said that you weren't aware with the contents of the text message, correct?
No, I've never seen that text message before.
Okay. Just give me one moment, okay?
Okay.
And I guess when we're talking about the slap, even though you said that your dad described it as just like a backhand, I mean, that's never okay to do to someone if you're arguing with them. You would agree with me, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to show you what has been entered into evidence as case exhibit number 27. So you would agree with me after seeing that your mom had no choice on that date to protect herself, your two little sisters, and other neighbors that were in the area. She had no other choice but to call 911 on your father. You would agree with me, right?
She called 911 before the shots occurred.
Because your dad was trying to set the house on fire. Are you aware of that?
No.
Okay. Well.
Judge, this tablet is dying.
Oh.
Did you want me to plug it in?
Oh, it should be fine.
It's at 3%.
3%.
Yeah.
Ah. Just give me a moment.
No, that's okay.
People tend to do this. They move things around. But thank you for letting me know.
Yes, of course. You need help?
Oh, no, I shall see. Sometimes people unplug things. Ah, there we go. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you what has been entered into evidence as statistic in the hearing. Okay, and so in state's exhibit number 9, that was before your mom called the cops, but you agree with me that we see your father pouring gasoline all over the driveway and then going into the garage with the same gasoline, correct?
It doesn't look like he was pouring anything. It looks like he just walked up and she grabbed it and some of it spilled. What happens in the garage, you can't really tell.
Okay,
Because
so
it's
there's
out of
no
frame.
camera in the garage, but there's been an arson investigator that testified that there was gasoline that was found in the garage and your mom was never in the garage, right? You agree with me?
Correct.
And so going back to my question, your mom had no other choice but to call 911 on him, because had your home caught on fire, that presents a grave risk to all the other people in the neighborhood. You would agree with me, right?
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
Okay. And then you were talking about your father having insomnia, but I was kind of confused by the testimony because you stated that he was like sleeping a lot and then you would go wake him up to like eat dinner and then he would wake up for work. Is that what you said?
Correct.
So he was getting sleep at the time.
Not the amount that he needed.
Okay. So what was his sleep schedule like then?
His sleep schedule is very difficult. He would wake up between 12 and 2 a.m. and go to work and work up until about 12 to 2 p.m. whenever he would get home and get my sisters from school. My sisters got out of school at 2:45. From then, he would make them a snack, make sure that they ate. If he could, he would take a nap until I got home from school. Most of the time, he did not take a nap and he would spend time with my little sisters. And then from there, he wouldn't go to bed until between 8 and 10 p.m. until I got home from school and my mother has came to pick up my sisters.
Okay. And then you stated that you feel that your father is in a better state now. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And then you stated that your mom has kind of moved on, from the relationship, is that correct?
Yes.
But your father has also moved on as well, correct?
Yes.
And he has a new girlfriend, correct?
I'm not aware.
You're not aware of the new girlfriend?
No.
That he has that talks about your mom?
No,
And you've never spoken with him about this girlfriend?
not girlfriend. I know of a friend.
And so when we're talking about this female friend that he has that he moved on with, I guess you're not familiar with the relationship that they have, but there's a possibility that that relationship could go south just as it did with your mom, correct?
I mean, there's a possibility for any relationship to go bad.
That's correct. And so given your dad's track record, I mean, you're not really sure how he would react to that if it occurred, correct?
No. Or yes,
You do know how he would react or you don't?
I do not know how he would react.
Okay, thank you. And then when we are also just talking about the strain on the relationship that you had with your mom because of this, have you kind of mended that or are you guys still out, like, not in the best of terms right now?
I would say my relationship with my mother is okay.
And did your dad kind of encourage you to reconcile with your mom at all?
Yes, absolutely. There was a time whenever she did leave, he was like, you need to go with her. You need to spend some time with her.
Right, I'm
And
talking about after the offense occurred and you weren't speaking with her. Did he encourage reconciliation at that point?
yes,
Okay. And I mean, has he taken accountability with you, letting you know that this was a decision that he made and it's no fault of your mom's?
yes,
Now, ultimately, you did state that you don't believe that your dad would ever engage in this type of conduct again. Is that what you said?
yes,
But you never anticipated that he would engage in slapping your mom, correct?
correct.
Or making threats to your mom about burning the house down starting in January of 2023, correct?
Correct.
And then I also wanted to talk to you because in January of 2023, there was an incident where you were living in the home with your father, correct?
Correct.
And he locked himself in his bedroom, correct?
I'm not sure. You need to refresh my memory.
Okay.
He's asking different, yes.
State's Exhibit E, and this is just for identification purposes. Don't read from it. I just want you to read this to yourself and see if that refreshes your memory, okay?
The stuff that's highlighted?
Just this entire portion.
Okay. I don't believe I remember that. Um, I do know at one point he was like, I guess, losing himself in a way that he was stressed out about everything. There was a few occasions where he was screaming and yelling. I don't recall calling my mom and telling her exactly what was going on, but there was always a part of me that could cool him off.
Okay, but that was something that would concern you, that he would kind of get in these states where he would either lock himself in his room or just start screaming as it is like the word fuck.
He never locked himself in his room that I can recall.
But when you're saying, when you're talking about this, I mean, what we're describing is him like uncontrollably yelling in the home.
Your Honor, I object to that as being misleading and suggestive when that's not what she's testified to. And again, now she's referring to a hearsay claim. That was part of my original objection, referring to that, something that's.
All right, with regards to your original objection, the witness is allowed to use any documents to refresh their memory. With regards to your objection to the last question, that will be sustained.
Okay, so I guess then just describe what you're saying you had to calm your dad down about, what type of behaviors was he engaging in at that time?
Mainly crying.
Okay.
He never really got like angry enough to say or do anything. He was always just like why couldn't I be the type of person that she wants me to be? So he would have a lot of crying episodes, and it was just a matter of me sitting him down and comforting him.
Okay. And then speaking about, I know you stated that you were not familiar with all the communications that went on between your mom and your dad, but were you aware that your dad told your mom, what would you do if I put a gun to Madison's head?
Was I aware of that?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. In fact, that it worried your mom so much, she had to send her friend over to the home. Did you know that?
No.
Okay, and then if we're looking at State's Exhibit number 6. After your mom's friend Selena went to your residence, your dad texted your mom, "Thank you for having Selena come over last night. I really appreciate that." Do you recall or were you aware of that?
I wasn't aware of the text message. I do know that my parents' friend Selena did come over that night.
Okay, but were you aware that what sparked that is that your dad told your mom that he was gonna put a gun to your head?
No, I was not aware of that.
Okay, and were you aware that your dad also made another threat about killing you and your sisters and then coming in court and laughing at your mom?
No, I was not aware of that.
Okay, and so even though you're representing to this jury that your dad will never engage in this behavior again, that's something that you're really just hoping for because he's your father, correct?
Not only because he is my father, but I know the type of person that he is.
Okay, well, we've already established that you knew that he was a good guy and that he engaged in all these things. Many things that you don't know about, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then he engaged in the shooting of the police officers, which is something that you never anticipated, correct?
Correct.
And so you can't look at this jury with a straight face and tell them he's never gonna do this again if his life gets hard, right? That's just something that you're hoping for and praying for, right?
Correct.
Okay.
But I know if he gets the right help for it, it will never happen again.
You pass the witness, Turner.
Defense?
These text messages and the threats that this prosecutor was just telling you about, those all happened within 24 hours of the shooting.
I'm gonna object as to one, he's testifying. two,
Sustained.
he's misstating because the evidence clearly marked his third in January.
All right, that'll be sustained.
Okay, so next message they're talking about happened October 19th. When talking about a lover, right?
Correct.
October 19th. That's the day of the shooting, right?
Correct.
Okay. If I tell you the date of the threats about your sister were the night and then the morning or afternoon of the 19th, that would be the same day as the shooting, right?
Correct.
Okay. You agree that your dad was not in his right state of mind going into October 19th?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
Well, okay, what is your testimony about what you know now? What was the condition of your dad's mind and decision making on October 19th and a few hours before that? Did something happen?
I believe he had a break, a mental break.
Okay, and so were never any threats to you or your sisters prior to this 24-hour period, as far as you know, right?
As far as I know, correct.
Okay, now if we're gonna go back to January 2013, that period is when, that's the time where this affair thing came out with your mom taking on a lover after 22 years of being together with your dad, right?
I'm gonna object to leading.
Sustained.
Okay, so in January 2023, was there information that came out about your father's marriage to your mom that was very troublesome for him?
The affair.
And so this is about the time that the slap happened, right?
Correct.
And certainly your dad was initially very distraught about your mother's affair in their marriage.
Objection leading.
Was your father
Sustained.
very distraught, or sorry, what were your dad's feelings about this affair when he first found out about it?
Me was angry just like anybody else would if their spouse or their significant other had done something as such.
Do you think the timeline for these messages that the prosecutor's been asking you about is important?
In a way, yes, but also no.
Okay, and so if we talk about early 2023, was that the time where there was a noticeable problem in the marriage because of the infidelity? Is that something that happened early in 2023?
Yes.
And I mean, you saw that, you were in the house when that came out, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, between early 2023 and up until we get to October 19th, October 18th, right before all this bad stuff happens, that's the period of time where your mother was staying with y'all. Were there any significant problems during that time?
No.
So there's the time he finds out about the affair. Then there's 9 months where he's trying his best to keep the family together, and your mother is a willing participant in that. Right?
Object to leading and testifying.
Sustained.
Praise, I'm sorry about that. Between early 2023 and then October of 2023, what did your mother do as far as the marriage goes and trying to keep it together?
She would come home and spend the night. Some nights she would come home, cook dinner. The nights that she didn't spend the night, she would go back to my grandparents' house and stay there This did happen over the course of those 9 months from January to October. But it was like an off and on type of thing. It's almost like it restarted every month. She would, go out with her friends, have a change of opinion, and not come home for a week or so. But then after that week or so, she would slowly start coming back. And then eventually she would spend the night and then go out with her friends one more time at the beginning of the month. And it just started right over again. She didn't want to come home for a month and then just started coming home slowly, spending the night, and then go out with her friends. It was just this constant every month type of thing. It would happen.
All right, so so it was kind of a part-time wife at that point,
Yeah.
separation. But she would act like a wife that was home.
Yes.
And then she wanted to go out with her girlfriends and go out, and hang out by herself with her friends. She would do that as well. During that time, what was your dad's intention about the marriage during this time where your mom was kind of going back and forth?
He wanted her to stay. He wanted to be that loving, happy family again.
All right, so to be clear, between the January portion of 23 and then up until right before the shooting, were there any blowups or arguments or things you saw that were out of the ordinary?
They were arguing a lot more often, mainly about bills, specifically the home. That was about it. They never really argued about anything else besides that.
Did you find out after the fact that the financial situation was probably worse than you realized?
Yes.
So, I mean, after all of this happens, I guess did you learn at some point in time that the mortgage was several months?
Sustained.
Did you ever learn after the shooting that there were problems with the payments on the house?
Yes.
When did you learn that?
I learned around the time when my mom was trying to put it on the market, how behind they were. And then about, I don't even know, I don't remember how long it was until our home went into foreclosure because my mother could not sell it.
During this time up till October, was your father selling a lot of his assets? Okay, let me ask you, did he sell a van that he drove that was his
Yes.
daily van? Did he do that for the money?
Yes, for the home. And he drove his motorcycle to work, even if it was cold, even if it was raining.
The maroon Trailblazer, was that a broken down Trailblazer who did that belong to?
That belonged to my tia. My father bought it off of her so that way he could fix it and have a car to drive to work and to have for me and my siblings.
As an expert, got to put this in. I know you brought this to my office. You recognize what this photo is?
Yes.
Did you bring that to my office?
Yes.
And where did you find that recently and why did you think it was important?
I found it in one of my dad's old CD cases.
Okay.
And I felt as though it was important because it shows his volunteer work as a firefighter in the city of Dilley.
Okay, now you wanted to keep the photo, so I made a photocopy of it
Yes,
because you didn't want this to go into evidence, not be able to get it back.
correct.
Is the photocopy a true and accurate representation of what the photo is?
Yes.
Okay, and you wanted to keep the Polaroid itself, right?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm gonna show execution exhibit number 4 and ask that be introduced into evidence.
Yeah, no objection.
All right, defense exhibit number 4 is admitted without objection.
What does that photo show?
It's my dad in a fire uniform.
Do you feel as though your dad is more than just this one horrible thing that he did?
Absolutely.
I'll pass.
Any
Really quick,
questions?
Nelson. I mean, you stated that regarding the affair, your dad was angry, just like anybody else would be angry had they been cheated on. Is that correct?
Yes.
But you would agree with me that many people get cheated on and don't resort to physical violence, correct?
Some do, yes.
And then you stated that the timeline of the text messages and all of that is important in some ways, but in others not. Is that correct?
Yes.
Because really, I mean, the action of shooting two unsuspecting police officers, setting up in a tactical position and aiming for center mass, that's really inexcusable. You would agree with me, right? That behavior is inexcusable.
Yes.
We pass the witness, Your Honor.
Nothing further.
All right, is this witness excused or subject to recall?
Yes, he's excused.
All right, the rule has been invoked. What that means, you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone or view anything about this case until it's concluded. Okay, all right, you may step down if you'll remove the microphone. Oh, you may step down.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, everyone, just give me 5 minutes. Could I have parties approach?